Hey everyone, let's head to my maritime backyard, Long Beach, California, to welcome the newest ship in the Carnival fold, the Carnival Firenze. Aside from the funnel and her color scheme, if this 135,196 gross ton ship looks a little familiar, she's a kissing cousin of the Carnival Panorama and shares the same hull, layout, and technical specs. Both are part of the Carnival Vista class, which also includes the Carnival Vista, the Carnival Horizon, and the Carnival Venezia. And speaking of Venice, the Carnival Firenze was built there in 2020 as the Costa Firenze. Earlier this year, she was sent to a shipyard in Cadiz, Spain, and transformed into the Carnival fold while still retaining her Italian personality and flair. So let's head aboard for a relatively quick look at this newcomer with some footage I captured on her naming day. We'll enter on Deck 3 at the Atrium, which is called Piazza del Duomo, after the great cathedral in the ship's namesake Florence. The Lion of Venice is the centerpiece of this 3-deck space, which has some nice plaster, or perhaps ceramic reliefs, on its forward decks 3 and 4 bulkheads, depicting Il Duomo and other highlights of Firenze, which we Americans call Florence. On the forward port side of Deck 3, there's Carnival Adventures, where you book your shore excursions, and just forward of that, the Club O2 Teen Center for 15 to 17-year-olds. Activities include karaoke, video games, and movies. Throughout the ship, veneers in the elevator lobbies and alleyways are inspired by the marble facades of Florence. On the forward starboard side of Deck 3, there's guest services and Circle C, the tween and teen hangout for 12 to 14-year-olds. Directly aft of the atrium on Deck 3, there's the first of 2 main dining rooms, the Medici restaurant. This venue is broken up into numerous small alcoves and, of course, features Renaissance-themed artworks. The next main dining room, the Michelangelo, is aft of the galley, so let's head up to Deck 4 and work our way aft and ultimately down. The Dream Studio is just forward of the Piazza del Duomo, which on the Deck 4 level is lined with shops, including Cherry on Top. This is an apparently popular candy joint, but all I can say is, really? The massive Carnival Players Club Casino continues aft of here. This space is even large enough to have its own mini atrium. The starboard passage takes you first to Heroes Tribute Bar, which is dedicated to veterans and their families. Lining that passage is an art gallery where everything is for sale. Next up is the Limelight Lounge, which also doubles as the Punchliner Comedy Club. At the far aft end of the ship, we've reached the upper level of the Michelangelo restaurant. This is definitely my favorite space on the Firenze, as it captures some of the essence of the Joe Farkas-designed early Carnival ships with its over-the-top decor. After all, this is Carnival, so it's really nice to see a room with some personality. And, of course, oversized chandeliers. But whose idea was it to cover up David with a fig leaf that looks like a painful deformity? Now let's head up to Deck 5, which begins with the upper level of the Teatro Rosso showroom. In addition to the main stair tower just outside, an interior staircase connects it with the Deck 4 level. More shops and the beauty salon line the Deck 5 level of the piazza. And someone parked their Vespa here. The starboard passage on Deck 5 begins with Piano Bar 88. Just across from Piano Bar 88 is Bonsai Teppanyaki, the first in a lineup of extra tariff eateries on this level. In the midst of the passage here, there's a view down to the Players Club Casino. And back on the starboard side of the passage, there's Bonsai Sushi. Crossing back on the port side, there's the Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse. Just steps away from these extra tariff dining venues, you can grab an extra tariff drink at the Amari Bar, or you can head a bit farther aft to the bubble-themed Frizzante Bar, which is right outside the Italian extra tariff dining venue, Il Viaggio. Il Viaggio is exclusive to Carnival Firenze and Carnival Venezia. It's sort of an upscale version of the Cucina del Capitano restaurants on the other ships in the fleet. Continuing aft, you'll run into the Firenze's first incarnation and a few Roman figurines. Nearby, there's Pixels, a digital photo shop which is followed by the Tuscan Lounge, which has a bar festooned with parasols, sort of like the one on Cunard's Last Franconia, but not really. Wrapping up Deck 5 is the Moda Lounge and Bar, which was rumored to have the best drinks on the ship. This space was so packed I actually had to come back after dinner to get footage of the bar itself, if that's any indication. The exterior portion of the bar and the adjacent terrace is reserved for the exclusive use of guests in terrazza staterooms, which brings us to the second part of this video, before we continue with the public areas at the top of the ship. Since we're in the neighborhood, let's start with the Category TE Terrazza Cabana stateroom number 5201, which has a king-size bed, a Pullman berth, and a sofa bed. The lanai has two loungers that face the private promenade that leads aft to the terrace. All of the bathrooms on the Firenze have a solid shower door versus shower curtains. Let's visit another terrazza stateroom way up on Deck 8, which also has access to the private terrace on Deck 5. Category TM, Premium Vista Balcony Stateroom 8484 has a pie-shaped bedroom, but it's all about the wraparound balcony that overlooks the ship's wake. Now back in the main part of the ship, the top-tier staterooms are 330 square foot Category OS Ocean Suites. They have a walk-in closet and long narrow balconies, as well as bathrooms with twin sinks and a jacuzzi tub. The most popular staterooms are 222 square foot Category 8 standard balconies that can be configured with a king or two twins. And here's another one with the same configuration, albeit flip. One of the ship's more unique cabins is this forward-facing Category 4J way up on Deck 11, which has tons of floor space for wheelchair access and a handicap-accessible bathroom. And the most affordable cabins are the interiors, like Category 4E Stateroom 7237. Alright, now let's head up to Deck 10 to see the rest of the ship's public areas. On Midships Deck 10, there's the Carnival Seaside Theater, On the port side is the Rococo bar, which I don't show as it was being used for the naming ceremony. This whole area, including the Lido pool, can be covered with a sliding glass magrodome in bad weather. On the starboard side is the Java Blue Cafe, and continuing aft is Guy's Burgers, as well as the vast Lido Marketplace buffet eatery. At the far aft end on the starboard side, there's the Seafood Shack. The Versilia Bar serves the open-air Versilia pool area, which wraps around the Carnival Firenze's stern and overlooks the terrazza below. Heading forward on the port side, there's the Pizzeria del Capitano and the other half of the sprawling Lido Marketplace. And before we head up to Deck 11, here's Tomodoro, an Italo-Mexican fast food eatery. Midships Deck 11 begins at the Carnival's Seaside Theater. On the port side, there's the Pergola Bar, which is broken up into inviting seating alcoves. And on the starboard side, there's Il Mercato. Directly aft of the Seaside Theater on Deck 11 is the children's area, which begins with Dr. Seuss's Bookville, all part of the Camp Ocean complex that has age-specific activities for kids under 12. And at the far aft end of Deck 11 is the sports court. Now let's head up to Deck 12, which begins way up forward with the Cloud9 Spa. Unlike many of the ships in the fleet, the spa lacks a vast wet area, but it does have a nice gym at its forward end. Perhaps because she was originally designed for the Chinese market, where spas aren't necessarily the thing, the changing rooms are a bit tight, but they do have saunas. And here's a look at a couple of the treatment rooms. And finally, I'm hoping they can come up with something a little better for relaxation than this room. The Carnival Waterworks Water Park overlooks the midships pool on Deck 12, where a jogging track encircles the magrodome and aft deck areas.
Music play, the fist begin.
After the pool, there's the warehouse video game parlor and a sheltered mini golf area at the base of the Firenze's fantastically oversized funnel. If you look up, you'll see the ropes course wrapping its way around this deck. The sports court is a few steps aft and down a level, and farther aft, there's a nice view over the Versilia pool. And now we'll head back forward along the starboard portion of the running track. Since there's no Deck 13, let's continue on aft Deck 14. Here you'll find more mini golf and access to the ropes course, and even a view over the midships pool if you're tall enough.
Glass rose colored lips.
At the aft end of this platform, there's a view over the lower mini golf course and a life-size chess court.
Light as a feather, bright as the morning.
Now let's head up almost to the top of the ship on forward Deck 15, which is the adults-only domain of Serenity.
Fills the air, steps quicken.
If you stand on a chair here, there's a nice view over the bow, and there's an Aperol-colored bar called Serenity Spritz that serves this whole area.
Glory note between these
The pergolas have cushioned seating, some even have swings, and there are vast open areas to escape to. We'll wrap up the tour here at the slide platform with spectacular views over the ship and her new home port, as well as the majestic, historic, and wondrous Queen Mary. Well, okay, let's just do another one at night, and then a post-christening view with a pizza pie moon in the sky.